Hello, this is Heisenberg.
Hey there, this is G Forever.
Yes, we're here to review from XM Studios, the Ultraman vs. Kaiju statue. And we're joined by artist Matt Frank, who did the concept art for the statue.
Hi there, that's me. I'm Matt. That's what they call me anyway.
All right, so let's go check out this awesome statue by XM Studios.
Oh yeah, and here it is. And
Yes,
so yeah, and this is a prototype, G Forever.
correct. It's a prototype from XM Studios, and we
Yeah,
can see Ultraman there with his little friend Pigmon, and a lot of kaiju in the back.
oh yeah, because I don't think it's shipped yet. It's expected out in early 2024. Sells in the United States for about $2,000 plus shipping. But yeah, XM Studios was nice enough to send us this prototype to review. But oh yeah, and it's so impressive.
I really need to get a hold of one of these for myself because y'all have seen it. But I haven't actually gotten this. This is actually, I think, the best look I've had at it yet.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And then oh yeah, I went over to G Forever's place and I did see it in person. Very big, very impressive. But
Oh yeah.
I'm curious, Matt. So how did the idea of the statue come about?
Well, I've been talking to Stanley over at XM Studios a little bit, and he gave me some really cool we had some really good conversations about some projects and some ideas, and Ultraman was kind of what they led with. And they just asked, hey, do you want to do some concepts? Do you want to help us design a statue, design a diorama? And I remember the core idea was Ultraman as a protector, as a protective force. um and I personally really like the idea of ultraman like ultraman standing against this tide of monsters, this tide of villainous characters. And
Oh,
yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
so cool that they're all there, that they're all there
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, a lot of the famous ones from the original show.
Yeah. I definitely wanted to tap into the ones that the big super popular ones, Gomora and Baltan and Zetton and Telesdon and his dumb face there. I love him though. And I wanted to throw in, hit the really, I wanted to hit the really high marks, the ones that
Mm.
everybody kind of knows. Upon retrospect, I would have been nice to have thrown in a weird one,
Oh, like an obscure one. Yeah.
yeah, like what's his name, Gango. But
Oh,
then
nice.
he's the one with the weird pincher hands. He's got the
Yes.
clamps.
Yep.
And but I figured I'll stick to the big ones. And yeah, and I came up with a couple of drawings, just a couple of relatively quick concepts to kind of get the general idea, and then I refined it from there. And then I fired it off over to Stanley over at XM. And then, as I understand it, they brought in Tanaka Studios
Yes.
to do the proper sculpting. And it's funny because my original concept, I think I was stylizing the monsters a little bit more. Like I was a little
Mm.
more comic booky with it because I wasn't quite sure how they were going to do it, like how
Hmm.
exactly they were going to approach it. So I just kind of had fun with it. And then seeing it now, it's like, oh, they went way on model with it. Like
Yes, they did.
these guys, yeah, they really look like the suits, which is something I actually appreciate.
Mm.
I also think for the first big Ultraman release from XM, this was probably the direction to go in, because you don't want to get too stylized out the gate, especially when
Hmm.
you're asking $2,000 a pop for these guys. Yeah, but they really did, they captured what I was going for. They kept, Red King has his big boulder.
Excellent.
Dada's doing whatever I had him doing. He's just kind of
Doing
and
the Dada thing.
yeah. I actually have the Ultraman pinball machine that I did the art for
That's
in my
amazing.
office. And
Oh
Dada
yeah.
is a secret boss, and
Oh,
my assistant Caston friggin' hates
oh,
Dada because she has the high score on the pinball machine, but she keeps running across Dada, and I'll hear her screaming from my office like, Dada, no.
Oh yeah,
And
I saw your YouTube video where you got the the Ultraman pinball machine in the mail and set it up and play it. It's very cool.
yeah,
It's
thankfully
amazing.
nobody lost any fingers or toes doing that. That was a three-person job. We only had two. But I really enjoyed working on this. This was a cool little thing, and well, I say little, I mean, look at it. It's huge.
Oh yeah.
It's ginormous.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's very big and very heavy too because it's resin, right? Right, Chief Forever?
Yes.
Oof.
Yeah, it's polystone and resin and just amazing details that it's captured. Like if you look at the eyes of Bemular or any of the characters, they're just so well done.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I really
Oh yeah.
appreciate the little
Oh
details.
yeah, I love all the there's so much detail in the sculpture and it's painted so well that I was very impressed by seeing it. Yeah, I like the ray gun there too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Dada's gun. And it's cool. So if you want to if you don't want to display with the gun, so they actually made it removable, so it's pretty cool.
And Ultraman does light up.
Yes.
So
Nice.
as we see, so right now you got his eyes lit up, and I think in a moment you're also going to light up his timer.
Yep, they light up together. It's just kind of covered by his arm, I think. Yeah, it's probably covered by his arm.
And there are different settings for the timer.
So there are three settings. You can have the color the eyes on and the blue color timer, and then you can switch it to a solid red color timer. So for photography reasons, you can get, if you want a red color timer, you can take a photo without missing it when it's blinking. But you can do the show accurate mode, which is the blinking red color timer.
Yeah,
Cool.
very cool. And we're
Yeah.
seeing it here. It's like it's really I really like it when with these statues that it's like 360 degrees that
Yeah.
the creatures are sculpted all the way around.
Yes, and yeah,
It's
you
like,
can go, you can walk around. This is pretty much like a great centerpiece item because you can walk around, you can see it from the angles behind Ultraman on the side views, and behind the kaiju you can see Ultraman. So it's really cool. And from a bird's eye view, there's actually a really neat little prop, like a little secret. I'm not sure if Matt Frank
Oh.
might know it, but we'll get a view
I'm
later.
trying to remember. Because admittedly, it's been a while since I actually helped design this thing. I mean, God, I think I was working on the initial concepts back in 2020.
Oh
maybe
wow,
early
so it's been
2021.
some few years.
Yeah, we'd worked. This stuff takes time, you know. Like it's I remember some of the statues I'd worked on, some people were kind of grousing about like, why is it taking so long? It's like, because this stuff takes time.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. I really am now I'm struggling. Like, what was the little Easter egg thing?
All right, well, we'll see in a moment.
Oh, then
Oh
yeah. Wouldn't it be hilarious if we saw it and I'm just like, I didn't put that in there.
Oh.
So
I was that was gonna lead me to my question. Did you choose every kaiju, or were there some that XM wanted to be in there? And also, like, I guess, did they keep everything that you wanted to keep?
Yeah, I mean, as like based on my recollections and what I remember, yes, I picked the monsters, and I picked the monsters, and I just, if you were to see the concepts, which I will probably send to you guys later, the concept sketches, really the only major difference is that they're kind of comic bookish, kind of cartoonish, but the positioning is all fairly accurate. Like everybody's where I put them. And they even kept a little detail of like one of the sort of a cheat that I utilized when picking the monsters. And this may have been also something that was a motivation for the monster selections I had. The monsters that are in the closest to Ultraman in the foreground, Gomora, Neronga, and then you got Telesdon behind Neronga. They're all burrowing monsters. They're all subterranean, so they can kind of be sunken partway into the earth. You can kind of have that building wave behind them.
Gotcha.
With Baltan and Red King and Zetton way in the back there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's very cool.
Yeah, they managed to keep that little detail, which I appreciated.
Yeah, it's really awesome. And was Jiras a choice, or they had to, because of some licensing issues, we could not bring Jiras in here?
I don't know if Jiras came up. I think
Oh,
I
really?
think
Okay.
Jiras I think purely because I think the only reason well, the thing is like when you include Jiras in something Ultraman related, especially nowadays, he kind of takes up a lot of the oxygen in the room, like because
Mm.
it's kind of obvious who he is.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe subconsciously I just didn't want to do that because it's like if I'm going to do Jiras, it's just going to be Jiras.
Gotcha.
And plus his frill is really impractical. Like it's just so
Take
big.
up so much space,
It
right?
takes up a lot of space. Like I didn't want him covering anybody up. But yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, I think Jiras didn't even come up.
Oh, interesting.
Which is
Yeah.
funny because I keep putting Jiras in stuff.
I know.
Mostly because I think he might be one of my favorite Ultra monsters just because of the audacity
Uh-huh.
of like, gosh, put a frog on Godzilla. Let's call it a day. I mean, hey, you got a show, you got a budget, you got to stick to that budget.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, very cool. But yeah, like I said, it's like so impressed. I'm so impressed with the result, both from the original concept onward, because it's like it's so great to get so many of the Ultraman monsters all together here.
Yeah, and
Like
it's
if
a
you
great
want,
mixture. You have some monsters, you have some aliens.
Oh, there it goes.
Yep. So yeah,
Yep.
here we're just showing some examples, like when you lift them up. So they're all held together by pegs.
Right.
So there's a lot of pegs because not only do you have the monsters, but you also have all the little like smoke debris things that
oh
connect
yeah,
to the
pieces of
base.
buildings too.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. There's Alien Dada.
Oh
I
yeah,
love
but
that. I love how much of the monsters are almost fully sculpted.
oh
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah. So yeah. So if you do want to get like a high-end Ultraman statue, it seems like this would be an excellent choice.
Excellent
Both
choice.
both
Yeah.
because it's like so well done, and you're pretty much getting like so many and all together.
And it's cheaper than the pinball machine. So
Oh yeah,
if
yeah,
you're
and
really a
it
diehard Ultraman fan,
oh yeah, and it is big, but it's not as big as a pinball machine, so
Yep.
you
Yeah.
can sort of fit it. Yeah, yeah. So here's the timer going.
Yes. So this is
Yeah.
the blinking mode, so kind of more of the TV show accurate one. Let's see if we scroll down a bit. We can see
Oh yeah, and then I do
Pigmon
like oh
with
yeah,
the
and
balloon in the
Pigmon
background.
is
Pigmon.
he's so well done too. Like both
Yeah.
the expression, but just the whole body, the whole body, like the sculpting and the painting of him.
All
Yeah.
right, so here are
And
the
it's just like,
buildings.
and even the rocks look so, yeah, even like the base looks so good, the rocks look so good here. Oh yeah, and then
There you
here it is
go.
with the lights
Take the
out, so
lights off.
I
Yeah.
like that.
you can see the blinking more.
I recently as a gift from some fans in LA, I was given a Japanese PS2 and some of the PS2 Ultraman games.
Oh, those are great.
They're really fun. This is really making me think like I want to go frick that. I want to go plug that in and go play it because it's just there's such a visceralness to the Ultraman brand because it's unabashedly, unashamedly tokusatsu. It's guys in suits, and
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
there's something so tactile about it. And that's one of the reasons why I actually kind of prefer they went with this much more on model look as opposed to the sort of more stylized look that I was kind of going in initially, because you still retain that kind of crunchy you can really kind of see yourself being in a suit
yeah,
wrestling with monsters.
Yep. Yeah, and speaking of suit, yeah, you can see all the like the wrinkles and the boots, like all the details from the suit is recaptured.
It's reminding me that there's a book, and I have it somewhere in my office. I picked it up years ago in Tokyo. It's called Ultra the Back, and it's just shots of the backs of
Oh.
monsters and Ultraman.
Oh, interesting.
It just shows their zipper basically, and
Yeah.
I think that's really funny that somebody compiled a book just that. Look at Pigmon. Look at him.
Yeah, this is little Pigmon, and he's fully sculpted, so
Yeah.
really fun.
I think him and Ultraman are the only two characters that are fully sculpted. Is that correct?
Yes, that
Okay.
is correct. I think Zetton was very close to be fully sculpted, except for his left foot,
Yeah, the 1 foot.
the one foot.
Oh
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. Some of the monsters you get almost all of them.
All right,
Yeah.
so I'm
Very
not sure if
cool.
you can see the little Easter egg. It's sort of right
Oh,
below
there it is.
Ultraman.
It's is it the beta capsule?
Not Beta Capsule,
Oh, what am I
the
looking at?
SSSP logo
What?
in the lava.
Really?
Yeah,
No,
Yeah, you
that's
so
can't.
not that wasn't me.
that's not you. Okay.
Yeah, you can.
I think that was Tanaka that was Tanaka-san or one of the sculptors working on it.
Yoshiki uh what's his name?
Yeah, I think at some point we get an overhead view because you can't really see it from here.
It's cool though.
The
Oh, there it
monsters.
is.
There it is. Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Oh,
here you can see it a little better.
yeah, yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, now what was that on the right there, G Forever?
All right, so this is the XM Studios 30 centimeter Ultraman Spatium Beam version. So this is if you just want to purchase Ultraman separately. And we do notice it's well, although it's the same sculpt, the paint work is slightly different. On the right side, you have a little bit of that blue tint
Hmm.
on the Ultraman's helmet there. Which is interesting because I think in the Marvel version of Ultraman, I think they really emphasize that blue tint,
Hmm.
and whereas the original Ultraman, they don't have that tint as prominent. So this is kind of neat. So a little
Cool.
difference. They are interswappable, so if you want to put the standalone Ultraman in place of the diorama one, you can.
Hmm.
We also noticed the like where the foot is, there's some kind of like dirt pattern, whereas the standalone one has more of a clean look.
Ah.
Yeah.
It probably would have been too granular, but I think it would have been funny if they release like A type mask and
Oh
B type
yes,
mask and
yeah,
C type mask where you have like the that really early Ultraman mask where it's like they were trying to make his mouth move. Oh hey.
yeah.
You know, who are these guys on the right here?
All right, so XM Studios also just announced the Ultra 7 and Ultraman Zero father and son duo statue.
Very cool. So one of the things that I love is like G Forever pointed out, it's a father and son set because it's zero is the son and seven behind him is the father. And I like the little detail that they are standing on a chunk of the land of light. Like that's a
Yes, yeah,
chunk of the alien planet that the ultras are from. I think that's a really neat little detail.
And here's Ultraman standing up. Is this also XM Studios?
it is. And I believe this one is the standalone one with the blue tint on the head. So
So there's two of
I'm
them now.
there's two of them. So one of them I'm not sure if it comes with the diorama or not, but this one has like the is similar to the other one where you have the dirt on the shoes on the right.
Hmm.
And then and then the standalone one is more of a clean look. So you can pose Ultraman standing in front of the kaiju, or you can have him posing attacking the kaiju.
Oh yeah, and just look at this photo there. It's like it's just
Very cool.
so cool to see like all the layers of so many monsters.
And you can
Yeah.
really see the star on the top of the SSP symbol there. Yeah, that was
Yes.
definitely an embellishment that I'm glad they added.
On the left, we have Neronga, and then in right in the center, Ultraman's slightly covering, but that's Gomora. And then we have Alien Dada on the right, and then followed by Bemular and Baltan Sajin in the center. There is Baltan right there. And right behind Boltan is Red King holding his big boulder. And that's
Yeah,
a
that's
really
a
nice looking boulder.
yeah, that boulder looks so good.
Surprising
Okay,
what
is
you could
that
do with texture.
Oh yeah. So
oh
Boltan again. And then there's right to Boltan's side is Telesdon. And of course, the big baddie, Zetton.
He makes that little noise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I hate to correct you, G Forever, but it's Telesdon.
Telesdon, I'm sorry.
Did you call it what did you say? Tesladon?
Something like that.
Tesladon's actually a really good name. That's a good name for like a monster or just a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
okay,
the
we'll get
things
it.
when you read the subtitles, but you don't actually say them out loud, you know?
Oh sure. Oh sure. I totally get it, man.
Well, as soon as you picked Gomora, did you then choose to put Pigmon into the I guess into your concept art?
Well, I knew I wanted Ultraman protecting somebody or something.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, it would be the obvious choice would be people, but then you'd have to sculpt people, and it's like,
Mm,
how many people would we do or whatever, and it's
mm,
just, or would I do the Science Patrol? But the Science Patrol wouldn't necessarily be hiding behind Ultraman; they would be
mhm.
out there fighting with him.
Yep.
Pigmon is the go-to because Pigmon is so unbelievably vulnerable
Mm.
and absolutely not a fighter.
So, Matt, you've got other current projects. One is the Cavity Colors T-shirt featuring GMK.
Yeah, I'm really happy to finally get to talk about that because I've been sitting on it for like a year. Thank
Yeah,
you.
another very cool item is you've got a Godzilla Rivals comic book featuring
That's
Space
right.
Godzilla.
That's
There
right.
it
Yeah.
is.
New
Yeah.
Yay.
Matt Frank has
space.
been doing a lot of comic book work for IDW for quite some time. And his latest one is versus Space Godzilla. And I think he also introduces a new kaiju as well.
It was a lot of fun. I did get to do an original monster in this because I knew I wanted this to be like a part of the galaxy that like had never seen a Toho monster, and so I set it on this alien planet, and I was like, well, I want Space Godzilla to fight something new. And I kind of agonized a little bit over the design of Singura, or
Mm.
Shingura, or however you want to pronounce it. And it's a really it was a fun monster, and I realized I had been really heavily subconsciously inspired by Vertigo from Primal Rage.
I was gonna, because I did notice something,
A
Vertigo
little
was
bit, a
a
little
little
bit.
bit of Vertigo, right?
Oh yeah, and it's out. It's out now. So
It's
go to your
out.
comic
I
book
Yes.
store.
literally
You can get it.
stopped to pick these up on the way home.
And you're going to be in person at different events. So
Yes.
Yeah.
where are you headed?
Well, the end of the month, I'm going to be at Giganticon, which is here in Texas. It's a little ways outside of Austin in a town called Killeen. After that, I'm doing Son of Monster Palooza in
Nice.
back in Burbank,
Yeah.
out in LA, and that's going to be fun. I'll be honest, the main reason I'm going is because Cassandra Peterson's going to be there, Elvira herself, and I've been in love with her since I was a kid, and I've never gotten to meet her. So I'm just like, okay, I'll get a table for the
Gotta do
show. I'll make this
it.
happen.
Awesome.
And then after that, I'm off. I'm off to Japan.
Off to Japan.
Tokyo Comic Con, which will be, I think it's the
Mm,
second weekend in December. But yeah, Tokyo Comic Con, that'll be fun. So it's always a fun time.
awesome.
Oh, wonderful.
Definitely.
So one thing I'm curious about while we have you, if you have time, it's like just you have actually been able to meet a number of the folks that's like been involved with the making of the movies.
Yeah.
Have any of those encounters like been especially memorable and nice for you?
There's two that come to mind right off the top of my head. Well, honestly, there's quite a few because I think the thing to remember is that these are all just like guys. They're just people, and they kind of, they're just kind of doing their thing. I've seen Wakasa-san quite a bit. He's a very gracious host if you come to his studio
Oh,
and
he
stuff.
is. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And although there's two others that come to mind, Lord knows there's quite a few. I was incredibly late to a drinking outing with several suit actors once, um, because I got on the wrong train.
Oh
Uh,
no.
so I remembered the last time I went, Furuya-san,
Mm. Yep.
Mr.
Mr.
Furuya,
Ultraman. Yep.
Mr. Ultraman, he wanted to meet up, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm in town. We know each other. Sure, we'll meet up." And it was me and my assistant Caston and our friend Hiroshi Kanatani, who's also an artist.
Oh yes. Yeah. He'll
Voice
also
artist.
be at Subukan.
Yes, he will be.
Yep.
And we met up, and it's funny because we were kind of the impression that it's like, oh, it's because Matt's in town. It was really because he wanted to hire my assistant
Oh.
to do like PR and bookings for him, and she had to very
Okay.
politely turn him down because she's like, I already have my hands full with Matt.
Ah.
But he he's a gracious dude. So
Yes. Yeah.
and then the other really funny one, oh wait, I just thought of another one. Okay, I'll make it fast.
Sure. Go for it.
There's two times at least I can think of where I ran into people just out in the wild. One day I was on a train passing through Shinjuku Station, and the doors open, and this dude with glasses comes in, kind of curly hair comes in, and I'm like, we both are kind of looking at each other, and I'm like, that's Shinji Higuchi.
Oh, I remember this story.
That's the director of Shin Ultraman and Shin and effects artists and stuff. And I'm like, Higuchi-san, and he's like, Mato-san, and because we kind of knew each other from like G-Fest or whatever.
Yes, yeah.
And we took a picture together and stuff, and he said, Tokyo is very narrow. Everybody goes through the same lines, same directions. And then 2019, I had just gotten out of my plane. I had gone to the Godzilla store first thing because I have a problem. And I was walking back I was like, man, I'm so tired. I just got to get back to the hotel and I just got to go to sleep. And Shusuke Kaneko passes me, the director of GMK and the Gamera trilogy.
Yep.
Passes me. And I'm like, Kaneko-san? And he's like, oh, Mato-san. Like he's a very low key guy.
Yeah.
Very, very even tempered, very low key. And he's like, oh, and like, we're kind of trying to talk. He's not speak much English. I don't speak great Japanese. And he's like, oh, I'm going to go meet up with some friends, you know? And I'm like, and it's kind of I assumed was his roundabout way of kind of inviting me with him. But the Japanese tend to kind of leave things in the air so that it's okay if you're like, okay, bye, you know? It's a courtesy thing, I think, or it's just, anyway. Yeah. Anyway, so I went with him, and man, that was the hardest I drank in the whole trip. No, wait, there was another time, but I will leave that for another day. It was a lot of fun, though. We had a really good time. I don't remember paying for my drinks. I gotta ask Kojima-san if I pay for my drinks. Anyway, but that was it was. I've been extremely fortunate to have gotten to know these people whose work I've frankly grown up with. Like, I would consider myself, you know, I would say blessed, but that's not accurate. I work really hard to kind of get where I am, and the fruits of that, and also try not to be a jerk to people. And you know, as a result, I'm able to make these connections with people, and because we're all just people, you know. And it sounds like I name drop a lot. I'm truly just excited to share these experiences.
Oh yeah, that's wonderful. Let's thank Matt Frank for joining us, the artist. Again, he did the concept art for this wonderful Ultraman vs. Kaiju statue from XM Studios and lots of other fun stuff. We've got the CAVITYCOLORS t-shirt of GMK. We've got the Godzilla Rivals comic book featuring SpaceGodzilla and lots of fun upcoming appearances. So, it's been a great time chatting with you, Matt. So yeah, we very much appreciate it.
Well, I really appreciate that. Thank you guys for having me on.
Okay, everybody, this is Heisenberg.
Right. And G Forever. And be sure to check out ultramanconnection.com for more cool Ultraman stuff.